Family, what's going on? Good morning. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate y'all being here. Give me a roll tide inside the comment box. Thank you very much for joining me on today's program. Tuesday, March 31st, the last day of March. I can't even believe it. We flew right past March, and now we get a little bit closer to A-Day, Alabama's annual spring scrimmage, which I guess is back, right? I mean, it was gone last year, and now it's back this year. I don't know how close it'll be kind of to the old steak and beans, but we'll take a scrimmage as we can get it, and we'll dive into it. That'll be not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. You also have Morgan Wallen coming into Tuscaloosa. Is anybody going to that concert? Let me know inside the comment box. Definitely, the excitement for Morgan Wallen. Now, do we have any Morgan Wallen fans? The excitement is insane. I mean, there's no hotel rooms. The stadium, from what I understand, is going to be completely sold out. Tickets are like $700 to $800 to $1,000, probably even more as we get closer to the concert day, which I think is April 18th. Ironically, they just opened up a Cavender's. I've never been to a Cavender's before. Anybody Cavender's fan? Kind of like a country western type store and incredible boots. I don't even own a pair of cowboy boots, but I was looking at some boots, and I think I might have to eventually get some boots. So go check out Cavender's, and a really great place just opened up here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And today on the program, we will be discussing kind of the young offense, the experienced defense. The biggest year for Coach Kalen DeBoer. Is that true? And I was thinking about this. Is it the biggest year for him like now, or was the biggest year for him year one? I think you could look at it a couple different ways. This is a huge year for Grubb. I think year two for him is just tremendous. I think every single thing that the offense does is going to be under a microscope, and rightfully so. I think he definitely deserves kind of all the scrutiny that he's got, and I think there's a lot of people that are excited about year two for Alabama. I am one of those guys. I'm also realistic in the sense that I feel that he was a big issue with Alabama last year. I really do. I'm going to stand on that. I do feel that Alabama did a pretty good job of saying it was the offensive line, and all the Alabama, super fans kind of ran to be in that arena. And I do think the offensive line was an issue for sure, but I don't think that was the biggest issue. I think the biggest issue was schematics with Ryan Grubb. I'm sorry if that makes you uncomfortable. If you don't like that, that was the truth. Thought he was completely underwhelming. Hoping for a year two, because in year two, Kane Wommack did an amazing job. And I think this could be the last year for Kane Wommack based on what he's done at Alabama over these last couple seasons. And with the defense that he has this year, I think it's going to be one of the best defenses in the entire SEC. And you know what they say about the defense, right? Your defense is really good, and your offense has components, has weapons, has a quarterback that can spin it. You're going to go pretty far. And I like Alabama's schedule. I know they have that back four, but I like Alabama this season going into year three under Coach Kalen DeBoer. Contract year for Ryan Williams, obviously, right? I think Ryan Coleman Williams, as he'll be referred to this year, it's a tremendous year for him as well. I mean, this is the most marketable, player that Alabama's had in quite some time since the NIL, and I think that this is a year where he's already showcasing his abilities, and there's a lot of people on this board right here on the show topics that are facing scrutiny, right? The Alabama offense, DeBoer, Grubb, Ryan Coleman Williams. I mean, I can't even post anything with Ryan Coleman Williams on it without people really talking smack about him. You drop 15 passes or whatever, that's going to come with it. On the other side of the coin, the guy scored 3 touchdowns against his team last Friday, and people still weren't happy. People were like, well, do it in the game. He hasn't done it all season. I was like, man, the guy's done a lot within 2 years, okay? He really has. I mean, that's just fact. So we're going to discuss that, and wanted to get your take, too, on this. Who drops off in the SEC? And what I mean by that is, like, which team drops off in the SEC? You had a lot of teams last year kind of up, competing for the number one spot. You think it's going to be Georgia? You think it's going to be A&M, Oklahoma? I mean, I think the obvious is probably Vanderbilt, right? I mean, last year, 10-3. No way. Look, I'm not saying anything that Vanderbilt is – I'm sure they're going to be good. But the last couple of years, they were damn good. right? I mean, nobody wanted to mess with Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt would have been a much better playoff team than a couple of the teams that got in this last year. Nobody wanted to deal with Vanderbilt in that quarterback that they had, and that's just facts. And I don't think they'll be able to have another 10-win season without Pavia. That's just my take. I'll take some calls as well today if you guys want to call in. So, think about calling in. The official start date for Prize Picks is actually tomorrow, but I wanted to welcome on Prize Picks as a new sponsor here at Bama Football on YouTube. I'm supported by them. I'm also supported by you guys inside the comment box, by you guys showing up, being active, hitting the thumbs up, you guys with the super chats, you guys becoming fan funders. I appreciate that, and that is definitely how I get by. I don't have somebody, I don't have a boss. I'm just this is self-made. You want it, you go get it, and that's how we like it right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So the show is presented by Prize Picks, okay? The new user offer for Prize Picks. You play $5, right, after you've downloaded the Prize Picks app, and you get $50 with your lineup. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use Prize Picks as we go forward this week. Perfect time before the Final Four, right? So you got to download the app, and you got to use the promo code, which is HMA. And if that promo code changes within the next week, I don't know if they're going to give me a specific promo code. I will keep you posted. But for right now, HMA is your promo code that you are going to use. Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. So sign up for Prize Picks with the promo code, which is HMA. Get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 plus a lineup. All right. So terms and conditions, of course, apply to all that. The promo code is HMA, and that is Prize Picks. Definitely check out the app. All right. So good morning to everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much for being on the program. I hope you had an amazing start to your week on Monday. We had a little bit of Alabama football practice yesterday. We heard from Keon Sabb and heard from Daniel Hill. Is it impressive to you that our running back could bench 805 pounds? Do you get hyped up about a stat like that? I think sometimes you think about stats, and that those are exciting numbers to get, but I think what would be more interesting is an article and kind of the angle based on how much he's improved in pass protection. You know what I'm saying? Like Daniel Hill has spent the last 3 months, on pass protection. And this is what he's going to really focus on along with transitioning his body, right? It's not bench, it's squat. My bad. Did I say bench? It's squat. But wouldn't you be more fired up about, somebody in pass protection compared to squatting? I don't know. I mean, the squatting is definitely amazing. I mean, shoot, that's almost 1,000 pounds. How does that translate to pass blocking? And what, is he bringing in terms of that area? Because I think along with the running backs, our running backs, certainly lacked explosive, but also lacked in kind of the pass protection. So I think he's an absolute beast. He looks way shiftier this year. I've been trying to hype him up. I don't know how excited people are about Daniel Hill, to be honest, because as you know, the running backs behind, the quarterbacks behind are always better than the guy that's slated to be the starter, right? And I could sit here and a million times be like, Daniel Hill is going to be the starter at running back. You'd be like, A.K. Deere is better than him. And as soon as they put in A.K. Deere, you can be like, Xavier Crowell's better than him. That's just how life operates, and that's just kind of how we base it off the excitement about some of our younger guys. But for a guy that squats 805 pounds or whatever, love to see it. I hope he improves in his pass protection. Alabama has, I think, an outstanding running back at Daniel Hill. And honestly, if they just wanted to feed him, I think he'd probably be capable to be a guy that could carry the ball 15 to 20 times. There is no way in hell that he gets 20 carries this entire season. It'll be a running back by committee. That's what they're going to have to do because they have the running backs to do it, but also you have to keep all the running backs happy. I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, there's no, we're going to just feed this guy because he's the right guy. You got to make sure that Xavier Crowell doesn't get pissed off and transfer somewhere else, right? You got to make sure you take care of Kevin Riley, who nobody talking about, but I think Kevin Riley is a very good player at the running back position as well. And then A.K. Deere, you got to feed him as well. So do any of these guys run for over 500 yards this year? I don't know. maybe one of them. But I think it's going to be a variety of running backs for Alabama. So kind of leads me to my first show topic, and that's talking about Alabama's young offense. And you're like, yo, what do you mean the young offense? We're like a veteran, experienced team. Not necessarily. And if you go over to the Bama football roster page and you look to Bama's roster, and this is a web page that I built. This is not the official web page, by the university. Theirs is the number one, the best place that you could get the roster. It's the quintessential place. This is just literally a guy in a room that built a website, and I have no website experience at all. But I do like to, have things organized the way that I could see them. So I built BamaFootballRoster.com. Again, it is not the official site at all. But one thing that you can do is you can cruise through all the positions on here, and you can see it's organized and it's still in testing. So if you see something, say something, and I'll be able to address it. But when you look to a running back like Daniel Hill, if you click the player card, you get some updates on Daniel Hill. So, for example, this is a new feature that I'm running out. Right now, you click Daniel Hill, you get the height, you get the weight, you get the hometown, and then you get the latest update, which is Daniel Hill squats 805 pounds, arrives lighter, more explosive. If you click right here, read the story, it'll populate right here on our new latest news tab, and this is in development yesterday, something I worked on. And if you click more, you can read the entire article, okay? So that's how that works. I just kind of a heads up on the website because I'm always trying to fix it, and I've never created a website before. So thank you so much on giving me grace on that. If you go up top right here and you click up above the ticker that shows you live updates, you can click the depth chart. And this is not the official depth chart. This is the official depth chart for Bama football roster. This is not the official depth chart for Coach Kalen DeBoer, okay? So if you look to the depth chart, we like to play around with depth charts. Everybody's obsessed about them. So I wanted to develop a tool where we could look at the depth chart, right? So when we're looking at the depth chart for today, one of the areas and the angles that I wanted to discuss was I feel, in my opinion, right, that Alabama's offense is young. So if we go full screen, right, to BamaFootballRoster.com, it seems to me like the roster is young. Would you agree with me? Yes or no? Right? Yeah, Shad the Fisherman, let me know what the update is on Caleb Edwards. I haven't been able to see that. So if you see something, say something. And I'm open to all, positive criticism within the website. This is a single person doing everything that you see on this channel and on the website, okay? But if we go full screen, okay, redshirt freshman, that's young to me, right? You got Daniel Hill at the running back position, right? You got Noah Rogers, right? He hasn't even been here before. You got Ryan Coleman Williams. He's kind of the veteran of the group, right? Caleb Edwards, here's your update right here, Shad, right? He's only a sophomore. Jackson Lloyd is that needs to be updated because he is only a redshirt freshman. So that's another update. Shad, mark that down too, man. Okay, you got Nick Brooks, who's a sophomore. You got Rayson Delgatti, right, who wasn't here last year. I mean, I would consider him young in terms of, not being here last year. You got Michael Carroll, who's a second-year player. And you got Javen James, who wasn't here either. So, I mean, really, the only players that have true experience are three players, really four on Alabama. And what I think from that is Coleman, Daniel Hill, Michael Carroll, and Lazier Brooks, right? Even if you look to, kind of the other side, it's just not an experienced side compared to the defense. The defense is super experienced. And even though the guys aren't necessarily, they weren't here like a Terrence Green or a Devin Tompkins, those guys are older within their graduation year, right? Got Terrence Green, who's a redshirt junior. You got Devin Tompkins, who's a redshirt senior. London Simmons is young, but he played a lot last year. Veteran experience at Yanzi Pierre, right? Played last year, became a starter. Caleb Woodson, was a starter at Virginia Tech. He comes over here. So even though he didn't play last year, I consider him having more valuable experience, in my opinion, than, a couple of the offensive guys that might have been starters elsewhere. I mean, this guy has almost 1,500 career snaps. You got QB Reese. He's young. I mean, he's older, graduation year, but he hasn't played. So let's just say inexperienced. And then the rest of the Alabama defense is absolutely loaded. I mean, look at all the experience back here. It's crazy. I mean, even on the two deep, right? Zabian, starter, right? 2-year starter. Carmelo O'Neal, he had 700 snaps in Mercer. Dejon Lee, starter, right, last year. Jordan Edmonds, new guy, no experience. Red Morgan started last year. Jake Kirkpatrick, some experience. Bray Hubbard, over 800 snaps last year. Edwards new, but you guys feel that he's going to be the starter eventually. Keon Sabb, over 800 snaps last year. Ivan Taylor, some snaps. It's amazing to me that two deep in the secondary, right? Just absolutely amazing. And then from the kicker, perspective, you got Lorcan Quinn going up against Connor Talty, two experienced kickers, and then Adam Watford, who has experience at North Alabama, against Alex Oshbroff, who doesn't really have experience. So kind of my point is that it's a young offense and it's a experienced defense. And I think that, that's a reason why I do like this team and why I do have a lot of confidence in this team to be able to make a deep run. And I asked kind of the Facebook community yesterday in the evening time, and I didn't get too much response on this, but I was wondering, do you feel that this team is capable to win more than 11 games? And we kind of looked over the schedule this morning on Wake Up Bama, but do you have Alabama winning more than 11 games? That doesn't include like winning the championship. Like that's not regular. That's the entire season. It's something interesting to think about, right? Is that the baseline? Are we going kind of as the baseline? Would it be, does it have kind of less info? Because I think when you look to the quarterback position, is that the position that's going to be able to propel Alabama to win, a championship, go to the semis? What is the baseline, right? And I see you guys inside the comment box. Let me get to a couple of these questions. Okay. Let's see what we got here inside the comment box. And thank you so much for being here this morning on Wake Up Bama. All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Good morning to everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. We're going into topic 3, but let's see. Shad the Fisherman says this has to be the number 1 defense. Yeah. Cosign on that, right? Absolutely loaded, right? Dano, of course, with a positive comment. He says, I think we bring back the least production in the SEC on defense or on offense, right? Let's see. Good morning, Miss Nicole Covington. Good to see you here. J. Cole says the wide receiver, Noah Rogers, he's got in some games. I think he'll be good. Rex says, does he even notice the quarterback has no info? Are you talking about the roster? Yeah, the roster is always in constant development, right? So when we look to the roster page, Rex, the information, like the website just came out last week. So the information is always incoming and going to be updated. So thank you very much for your continued feedback. Thank you. And Rex also says that he doesn't go to Facebook. Okay, Rex, thank you, bro. We appreciate that. Shad the Fisherman says this looks like a better team than last year. I think so. I at least on the defensive side. I mean, I think we get really excited about the Alabama offense, right, just because of the names and guys coming in, but how good are these guys really going to be, right? I mean, do you want me just to gas you up and tell you that everything is going to be just the best and way better? I would hope so, but the truth is, we don't know. And let's see, Alabama Post says the website is going to be a lot of work. Absolutely. Yeah, work is work, right? I mean, it's just that is, definitely part of life is just kind of the work. But yeah, absolutely, man. I spend, yesterday a ton of hours in development on the website. It's just, the little things have to be always fixed, and there's always kind of little things that pop up. So maybe maybe the website doesn't even make it for another couple months. It's just something that I was trying to add on as well. Let's see. Rex Green or Army says, "Hey Kyle, how's the family? Family's good, man. Thank you very much for asking." Yeah, everybody's doing really well here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Army also says that the offensive line is better, then we have two quarterbacks that can win games. Yeah, and look, we're not going to find out anything about the quarterbacks. I think people can speculate all day long about the quarterbacks, but they're going to take the quarterback race up until, I would imagine, week 4 or 5, right? And there, I've also been seen on Facebook and, kind of just around that people feel that as soon as a quarterback is named the starter, that the quarterbacks are going to transfer. When? When could the players transfer? And I think because last year, maybe people don't know the calendar, I think people think that they can transfer at any point of the season, right? But, I mean, the next transfer portal window opens up in 2027. So unless this player, right, disenrolls from school, how would they transfer? I don't know. I mean, do you think if let me ask you this. If Keelan Russell is named the starter, do you think that Austin Mack will disenroll from school during the season and leave? Or Jet Tamala or Tatum Kahawa or Trent Seaborn will decommit, or Elijah Haven won't come here? You guys understand that, and I think you guys do, but I think the majority of people don't understand that the next transfer portal window don't open up till January 2027. So the guys are locked in. Jarvis switching it up on us. He's saying, what do you think about Nate Oates going after the 7'9" center from Florida that just hit the portal? Did that guy just hit the portal? The 7'9" guy? I didn't even see that, man. I mean, I saw a little bit of him play. 7'9". I mean, look, yeah, go after him just because. I mean, there's no other guy like that. 7'9" is crazy. I think yes or no, family. Do you go after him? I would say yes. Is he the perfect guy that fits the system? No. But it'll be interesting to see where he ends up at, because that would be amazing to cover. I mean, a nearly 8-foot guy, what does that do for you on the I'm thinking the defensive side and for rebounding, right? I'd have to go look at his numbers and stuff. I just kind of know who he is from social media and popular culture. But I think you need a big that can move up and down in transition, right? Jay, what's up, man? I appreciate you. And this player exists out there. I don't know where he is, but you need a player that's around 7'2" that can fly up and down the court. That's it. And this exists, even 7 foot, whatever. And you need a guy that is an absolute, dog on the inside. As big as Aiden Sherrill is, I don't think he's overly aggressive. Sometimes he'll have some nasty throwdowns, but you can challenge him. Even at 260 pounds, I mean, you could just challenge him, right? So I don't know. I guess go after him for sure, but I guess we'll just have to see what they do. All right. Let me ask you this. Biggest year for Coach Kalen DeBoer? Is this a bigger year than the first year that he got here? Right? I think it is. I think when you talk about Coach Kalen DeBoer and this particular year for Alabama football, this is the biggest year, plain and simple, because year one was about laying the tracks and kind of the transition of, the last coach to this coach. People were very patient with Coach Kalen DeBoer in terms of giving him time to get things together, get his staff in order, get his offensive coordinator, kind of go through the quarterbacks and let his quarterbacks grow up. And I don't know what the baseline is for wins or losses for Coach Kalen DeBoer. Losing 8 in the last, in the first 2 seasons, that's not necessarily something I'm necessarily looking at. It's kind of the nature of the losses and what you can do from a consistent standpoint. And from a consistent standpoint, and I'm talking Coach Kalen DeBoer in kind of year 3, is can he make the playoffs again? Can he make the SEC title game again, right? Can you win a couple games in the college football playoffs? Can you have a real shot at reaching the title game? Are you one of the best teams in the SEC again? That's the type of consistency. I think if Alabama has a drop from last year, seat gets hot. He's not fired. If you have a dramatic drop, yeah, you probably get fired. But even if you don't reach the SEC title game, but you make the playoffs, that's still a respectable area. It's a respectable area, I think, to the people that make decisions on DeBoer, but for fans, the fans are never going to be happy with DeBoer until he's winning a copious amount of national championships. Right? Until he wins a championship, fans just are not going to fully embrace DeBoer. I mean, that is kind of what the baseline is for the head football coach. And those should that be your standards? Yeah, it should be your standards. But we should also be realistic, right? But I also think that the first year of Coach Kalen DeBoer coming here was monumental. I mean, think about all the stuff that he went through and kind of how he's weathered out the storm. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that could have weathered the storm, right? For all the people that say DeBoer is soft and all that stuff, you try taking over Alabama's job. There's few men that could be able to do that, right? I mean, this city might as well be called Saban City. This isn't Tuscaloosa. This is Saban City, right? Saban country. And for a man to take over that job, he's done the best that I think that any of the other coaches could have done. I mean, shoot, out of the major second-year coaches, he's right after Curt Cignetti. But the problem is, Cignetti is a Saban guy, and Cignetti went perfect. But yeah, I mean, as Jarvis mentioned inside the comment box, the honeymoon definitely is over. People want to see consistency. They want to see an improved year within the offense. So is this the biggest year for DeBoer? Absolutely, right? I think the only thing that I have with DeBoer that really, bothers me, and this isn't even something that really is like a big thing, but I think from like a press conference perspective, I mean, I just think he is absolutely he's one of the most boring coaches that is in the SEC. You know what? I would say Vanderbilt's coach is more boring. There's a couple of them that are boring, but DeBoer is as boring as it gets, and that's fine. That doesn't mean that I don't like him. It just means, if I think you're boring, I think you're boring. That doesn't mean but I like him as a coach. I do. And the reason I like him as a coach is because he's winning games, and I look to what other people are, saying about DeBoer that played for him. I respect the opinion of Ty Simpson. I respect the opinion of Tim Keenan. I love the fact that Trent Seaborn wants to go no other place than here at Alabama. I love the fact that Elijah Haven wants to come to Alabama, right? But in terms of saying stuff that's, noteworthy or like soundbitey, no, it doesn't exist. That's why ESPN's paying Saban, whatever it is, because everything that Saban says is a soundbite. But that's the only real thing that I have with DeBoer. Other than that, I like DeBoer. I just think that he's just boring, right? All right, Ryan Grubb. Okay, he's got the most pressure out of anybody, period. People are going to have every single thing that he does with this Alabama offense under a microscope, and he should. Last year, he was super underwhelming. Do we agree with that, or is there anybody here that liked Grubb's offense? And that's fine if you did. That's completely fine. And you know what? There were some things that I did like. Some of the calls that he had within the red zone, they were very creative. At times, it was interesting. But most of the time, watching Alabama's offense, I didn't know what the hell I was watching. Did you? I don't know what we were. And I talk about the lack of identity all the time. I don't know if we're passing, running, a trick play team. But then it all came back, and it was like, it was the offensive line. That's why I called so many trick plays. It was because the offensive line wasn't good, right? You got a first-round draft pick out there, right? I don't know. Kane Proctor. You got a 2-year starter at center. That was part of the Joe Moore Award, right? You got Michael Carroll, All-American. Those are 3 decent linemen. So what was going on? Well, it was Coach Kapilovic. No. I think it was, man. Okay, and Rex he's saying, explain your problem with Grubb with schematics. Okay, what do you call Rex on a 3rd and 1? I want Rex to answer this. Rex, what do you call on a 3rd and 1? Do you call a run? Do you call a pass? Or do you call a trick play? Oh, a 3rd and 1 with a 245-pound running back. I know. How about you throw it to Caden Proctor? Right? It's like from schematics, that type of shit. It was ridiculous. It happened again and again and again. Like the Caden Proctor stuff, you do that one time and then have showmanship, and you never show that play again. It was fun against Georgia, and you never do it again. Caden Proctor started being like a part of the Alabama offense as a skill position player. Man, that guy's he's your best lineman. You have one blow to the leg, and then he's completely done. So what is Grubb going to do this year? Because now he has his offensive line coach, right? He has new quarterback. He has his quarterback, right? He's got weapons. He's got the running backs are great. So what does he do this year? And I think every single thing that he does this year, good and bad, will be under a microscope. So hopefully he has a bounce back year as an offensive coordinator. I hope he does, man, because he was the guy. I associated him with one of the biggest reasons that, Washington had so much success. And I think that's what gives people so much hope is you go back and you watch Washington's offense and how they were able to execute. And granted, Michael Penix Jr. and the wide receivers that they had were ridiculous, and they won the Joe Moore Award with the offense. But what they were able to do at Washington gives us hope here at Alabama, because that Washington offense was amazing. And we're hoping that transitions over here. There's not one person here that wasn't excited about the Ryan Grubb coming over here. Everybody was. That's why everybody was so hurt when he didn't come with DeBoer the first year. But maybe it's just kind of the first year. And the second year, he'll kind of settle into the SEC and we'll be rolling. Similar to Kane Womack. Because Kane Womack, I think this is his last year here. I think with Kane Womack and his defense, it's been tremendous to see what he's been able to do with a completely different defense than what the last coach did here. This guy changed everything. And there are some areas where Kane Womack definitely has to improve and where Alabama's defense needs to kind of turn up. But year 1 to year 2 was a dramatic difference. You're talking about a defense that I felt you could run against. They were soft up the middle. They weren't very good on third downs. I think that people felt that they could challenge Alabama. That all changed last year. Alabama was a damn good team against the run. They were good against quarterbacks that could run. The secondary was great, really good. And the second, all those guys, they're coming back. The only guy you lose is Damani Jackson, and he got his job taken by a freshman. So I was talking to someone recently who was an Arkansas fan, and they wish they would have had Womack. There's going to be a lot of programs calling Womack after this season. 100%. You definitely lose Womack, and either DeBoer promotes within and he makes Lindquist his DC, or you lose Lindquist as well. So, and that just comes by having good teams, right? It happens to basketball. It's been happening here for years. I think Womack will be a head football coach after this season going into 2027. 100%. Is there anybody out here that doesn't like Womack's defense? Oh, what's up, dog? Good to see you, bro. Appreciate you being here. I think Womack did an amazing job, right? And Dano feels that Coach Lindquist will get a job as well, right? All right. The most, I think he's probably one of the most disliked players on the team and most liked at the same time. It's a really weird dichotomy what we got going on with Ryan Williams, right? Yeah, by the way, thank you for rolling in today. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Got a couple more things to go, and then I'll take some calls or some questions inside the comment box. We're right here on contract year for Ryan Williams. So I got a couple more things to go through, and then, kind of open the show up to you guys. All right. So I'll put the call line on the screen, and then you guys can call in if you guys want to, and we can chit chat, or you can post, your questions inside the comment box, and I'll throw them up on the screen. So talking about Ryan Williams, now I think this is my 9th year or 10th year covering